Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. I am Oni Martinez. I am a faculty member of the Department of Geography here in the University of the Philippines in Diliman. And right beside me is my co-chair for the academic track 2025, Professor Brian Samson of the Department of Software Technology, College of Computer Studies at the De La Salle University. On behalf of the OSM Science Committee, it's our pleasure to welcome everyone to this lightning talk session of the OSM Science 2025 academic track. We'd also like to acknowledge our co-chairs who unfortunately were not able to join us in person today. You will always find their profile in our website. We'd like to acknowledge Dr. Yair Greenberger, Dr. Marco Mignini, Dr. Peter Mooney, and Dr. Anna Zanchetta. This year also marks our eighth edition of the OSM Science, the academic track of the state of the map. And it's been amazing to watch this community grow into a global forum of researchers, practitioners, and community mappers coming together to advance the science in the utilization of OpenStreetMap. So this year, our program features two lightning sessions and three full talks. Of course, the first segment of that is happening now. We will be covering an inspiring range of research that demonstrates the power of open geospatial data and open source tools. And since our lightning talks are all remote, there will be no live Q&A this time. But don't worry, that's not going to stop us from having this conversation. If you have your venue less access, you can introduce yourselves to the other persons or other members in the session chat, and maybe some of our presenters are actually there at venue less. You can approach them and ask them questions and maybe explore future collaborations with them. So please just kindly scan the QR code or access your venue less through your tickets. So before we dive into the talks, I'd also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the 2025 State of the Map organizing team. We acknowledge your tireless work to make all of these possible. For our lightning talks this morning, we'll explore research that spans urban geography, disaster informatics, and land use modeling. Each of these studies show how OpenStreetMap can both be a scientific data set and also a community-driven platform for innovation. We first begin with PlaceCrafter, curating urban functional regions through Platial clustering of OpenStreetMap points of interest. And this will be presented to us by James Williams. And the co-author of this is Gary Priestnall. This project explores how subjective experiences of place can be relieved and revealed through city structures and OSM data. So we will now be playing the presentation of James Williams.
Hi, my name is James Williams, and this is our presentation on PlaceCrafter, our paper which focuses on curating urban functional regions through Platial clustering of OpenStreetMap points of interest. This is a collaboration between myself, James Williams at Birmingham University, and Gary Priestnall at the University of Nottingham. So for just a little bit of information about myself, I'm currently a lecturer in computer science at Birmingham University, focus on interdisciplinary research between computer science and geospatial information. And what this paper focuses on, and what most of my research focuses on, is cities that are not just administrative zones or street networks, actually focusing on cities as lived places shaped by human interaction. And our work sort of highlights that GIS tools often privilege space over place. So that's what a lot of our work, and in particular this paper on PlaceCrafter, focuses on. So the motivation and contribution of this work is taking a look at moving OpenStreetMap point of interest data from space to place. So our motivation is that traditional GIS and OpenStreetMap data focuses on space, so streets, polygons, points of interest, things like this. And it often neglects place where lived, fuzzy, and human-centered regions exist. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to develop and test a tool that could capture functional regions beyond administrative boundaries, so combining existing spatial data to see if we could generate these fuzzy palatial locations that we were interested in. So the contribution of this work is PlaceCrafter, the tool that we're going to demonstrate in this presentation, which is an open source MIT licensed web-based tool. We used OpenStreetMap POIs and clustering, including k-means, db, scan, and hierarchical, to demonstrate the different spatial functional regions that we were generating. We provide some statistical validation, and we also demonstrate how our system can generate spatial visualizations and allow people to extract these fuzzy and semantic functional regions. So what PlaceCrafter does is it shifts GIS analysis from static space to more dynamic places. So I've already loaded some data up for Manila, and what we're going to do is demonstrate how the system works. So as you can see already, we already have some points of interest demonstrated. All of these pink ones are historic POIs from OpenStreetMap. And what we can do is we can flick on and off different categories. And if we just give it a second to load, you can see that we can generate these different functional regions. This gives us these fuzzy spatial clusters that we can then use for later analysis. In particular, what we were interested in is how we could eventually route people through these. But for the context of this work, at the moment, all we're doing is generating the functional regions. So if I go and turn off a couple of these and we focus, for example, on amenities, we have a total of 29 different categories available at the moment. And we then also have the subtags from OpenStreetMap being pulled in as well. And what you can do is you can go into this analysis view and we can change the clustering type to, for example, switch over to k-means clustering. So then we have a predictable set of clusters and we can modify this to the amount that we desire for our work. So for example, if I just drag this here, we can give it a second to load and we should have 13 different clusters that are now visible on the map. And what we can then do is we can zoom in and we can explore these and see these different functional regions be generated. And for example, if we wanted to go back and change our analysis a bit and modify some of the categories that we are selecting, we can see that the map then goes ahead and updates the selection as well. So this provides us with a great method of generating these fuzzy spatial regions that we're interested in. But then we also have this idea behind adding in some visualizations as well. So if I just turn off the points of interest, we can see all of our clustered regions. And what we can do as well is we can have all of these different advanced visualization layers that we've been working on recently. So for example, we might want to have a look at adding in a spray can effect, and we can turn off the functional regions, and then we can see that we've got this spray can effect of visualizations that we can then generate, which becomes a really interesting way of having a look and investigating these fuzzy regions. We also have similar things for region influence grids and region quality indicators, and in addition to Voronoi diagrams being generated as well. So our future work is going to focus on adding in some temporal analysis and comparative views to the system. And just to close this out, the tool is open source and available on GitHub. It reveals functional geographies from OpenStreetMap POIs and can support more human-centered planning and analysis. So hopefully PlaceCrafter can help uncover how places are used and experienced, not just where they are. Thank you for watching our presentation.
All right, thank you so much. So we've seen the different ways by which we can establish or visualize functional regions in a particular place, which is a very powerful concept in geography.